Good morning, everyone, distinguished speakers and guests, Associate Professor Dr. Tan Xiao Hon, those from our partner organizations focused on the family, Center for Fathering, Moms for Life, management and staff of family service centers, leaders and members of religious communities, those from our esteemed civil service, associates from academia, and fellow non-profit organizations, and of course, friends and family of Cultivate SG, everyone who's been with us, in one way or another, a very, very good morning. I'm Ariel Lim, chairperson of Cultivate SG, and welcome to our second conference, or large conversation, as we like to call it, by our little organization. And today, I'd like to start off by sharing a little bit of what Cultivate has been up to, which I'm sure some of you are curious about. Broadly speaking, we are in the work of marriage and family, but not at an intervention level like the essential and amazing work that many of you guys do. We are interested in the environment that families are being formed in, the social norms, emerging trends, government policies that all affect marriage and family. And we do this primarily through READ, or READ for short. So for research, we do online surveys. We've done 3 covering over 5,000 respondents as of today. E is for education through publishing your findings, writing articles, and media appearances. A is for affiliations, which really just means making friends, but we wanted something that started with A. And D for dialogue, such as speaking with government ministries, hosting conversations on family-related topics such as dating, stay-home dads, large families, and the like. And we have some of our speakers here. I'm so glad you guys are here with us today. So why did we call ourselves Cultivate, and what do we want to cultivate? So humor me a little right now as I share with you one of my favorite speeches. I may not agree everything that's written in it, but I hope that you guys have the time to go and read it after this. It's called This is Water by the late American writer David Foster Wallace in 2005. In it, he shares about 2 fish swimming. And when asked, how's the water today? The fish, they look at each other and they think, what is water? And the point that he makes is that the most obvious, important realities are often the ones that are hardest to see and talk about. Whether it's the water around fishes or the garden around plants, we at Cultivate are concerned about the moral and the economic and the social environment, the thought patterns, the reigning philosophies of today that surround individuals, that surround families and community. Yes, if families are struggling today, if the total fertility rate is dropping today, we look at their individual issues, but we should also look at the garden surrounding them. How can we cultivate it so that families can do better? How can we cultivate it so that when families fall into hard times, the community can pull together and support them better? This requires very banal and sometimes boring things. Having a grasp of the soil conditions, sowing seeds faithfully, tending to seedlings gently, the regular watering, the understanding of seasons, weather conditions, the identification of pests and weeding. So what are some of these realities and external conditions that we find ourselves in today? Again, I reference the speech where Wallace, who's in no way religious, talks about having default settings, unconscious ways of seeing the world that is a result of who or what we worship. Our current world, in its abundance of material wealth and advancement of technology, has allowed extraordinary comfort and freedom. The freedom to be lords of our own minds, the freedom to shop at a click, the freedom to gain information in seconds. And society will do very little to stop us, to make us rethink what we unconsciously worship, to make us rethink the rat race we find ourselves in, to make us question our trajectory. However, and I quote, the really important kind of freedom involves attention and awareness and discipline, and being able to truly care about other people and to sacrifice for them over and over in a myriad of petty, unsexy ways every day. And this particular freedom is going to cost us. Choosing to be present when so much screams for your attention, committing yourself to your family in the day-to-day, boring routines, the day-ins and the day-outs. Like brushing my daughter's teeth every day, even though she will scream and kick every day as if it's been the first time she's brushing her teeth. These are the day-in, day-outs that we have to choose to commit ourselves to. And this is especially difficult in what scholars have called a therapeutic society, where we are no longer constrained by moral or religious frameworks, but by the markers of psychological well-being and self-fulfillment. And I tell you, when I brush my teeth, it really gets to me. I really feel like my mental well-being is taking a dip every single day. But we do it anyway. Virtue today is old-fashioned, now replaced by the pursuit of happiness and emotional health. We no longer seek meaning through shared moral codes, but through self-care and self-expression. And of course, not all segments of society live in this reality, but these are the emerging trends and trajectories that we need to keep our eyes on. So how do we pull away from this hyper-individualism and pull together as a society? How do we speak of objective standards of family, social good, of flourishing, not just subjective and emotional ones? How do we encourage marriage and parenthood amidst all the competing and frankly very attractive choices? So part of Cultivate's response is through conversations, a lot of them. Some deeper than others, some harder than others. Some we have great resonance with, some we have little agreement with. And this is not new. A thriving garden is a lot of boring, no offense to everyone here who's involved in family work, but it's a lot of boring, repetitive labor, which is really like work related to family. Age-old cliches, family is important, or that families are the building blocks of society. Relationships are more important than material things, or that exclusive and enduring marriages and families are the best means for human reproduction and social flourishing. Our ideals about how families need stable marriages between a man and a woman for children to grow up well. I was brought up with these sayings. Both my parents are active in supporting families, and sometimes when I hear these truths, I will smile, but inside I'm cringing because I've heard them over 1,000 times, and I kid you not, it's really over 1,000 times. But as a mother to 3 young children, as someone working in this space, it's exactly these boring truths that keep me going every day, sometimes through the hour. That children thrive in stability and need routine. That they are nourished by the presence of my husband and I, our extended family, and by the communities we love and we serve in. And one day, these children will grow up and be part of families and communities and society. And I hope that when that time comes, my children, your nieces, your nephews, people you know and love, they too will not be put off by the hard, repetitive work of cultivating something beyond themselves, the everyday choices that love and honor themselves and others around them. So my question today to you is, what is something you want to cultivate today? What is something you have already been cultivating, and how will you do it? You will find some handouts. If you can see the yellow handouts on your tables, there's enough for everyone. So through the course of today, as you listen to the panelists, as you listen to different discussions, I hope you will think about what you've been cultivating, or maybe something new you want to cultivate. And we'll get back to that during the group discussion today. So thank you very much for being here, for being so early, and I hope you'll stay with us through the rest of the day and have a wonderful time. Thank you.